This chapter of Hunter x Hunter 345 was pretty interesting. Starts off with Gon. Gon is pretty much out of commission from his, or out of his last commission. Where's my finger? Yeah, from his last fight with Pito. So I can put my finger. Yeah, right here when he fought Pito, and he used like all of his aura. With that binding valve that he put himself in was like pretty freaking severe, and he's like back to basic normal going from literally, yeah, from the very beginning of the series. Yeah, from the very beginning of the series. And his dad is just like, that's what you wanted, right? So now he's about to live with, now he's back with Aunt Pito. That's his Pito, right? Or Mito. I think it's Mito. Pito, one of those. But yeah, now he's back with his aunt. This dude has a lot of paperwork to now fill out. So he's not he's still a hunter, but he's not about to be doing hunter activities. And he was like, if he had still been able to use his aura and still been able to use Nin, and feel Jing's Nin, like, and to feel how powerful Jing was by feeling his aura sensation, he would have probably not probably he would have wanted to go to the Dark Continent with him. But he can't, because he can't. He's a basic guy. Then we get back to the group right here with Periston and Gene, what's our boy name? Beyond's crew. And they're all talking about how they're like willing to accept Gene as number 2, under the exception that everybody has to accept Gene's money first, and then they accept him as number 2. While they're talking about that, Gene, a couple of them are like a little bit wavery as to like them being necessary or needed for this venture. And then Jing explains how he said something along the lines of Beyond had been playing this, and how all of your abilities were pre-planned, and it's like a necessity or something like that. He says it along the lines of like that. And he keeps like on like spouting about pretty much how he like his quick analyzation of Beyond's plan. It does something to Periston. Like, I don't know, I really like the contrast of Periston and Jing, and I'm really curious to know where this is headed, like, seriously. And then then we go to the next scene. And before we get to that, before I go to the next scene, this was something interesting that I didn't even know until I read the part. The ones actually aiming for the continent should be max 25 people. It says if we're more, the units would become too big. I didn't know or even think about I actually was thinking about how many people are actually going to be going to the Dark Continent, and now knowing that it's 25, that's like really comforting to know. But still, holy fudge, that's 25 people too many, especially after hearing about all the other crazy stuff that's happened with 100 people and 1,000 people. But these are pro hunters, so 25 people are going. Out of those 25, that's 11. Okay, I'm gonna have to do the numbers on that, but that's 11 Zodiacs, right? That's Beyond. Okay, that's okay. Including okay. And I also found out that Jing is incredibly wealthy. Like, hunters are incredibly wealthy anyways. Like, they kind of like demonstrated their wealth throughout the series, with how much they just obtain and how much they can effortlessly spend on stuff. But to what he said, Beyond promised the executing unit 1.5 bill, and the standby unit 2 bill. So he's playing double. That is insane for every person. That's crazy. But in the next scene, we go to like looks like kind of like I think this is a hotel with a like, I don't know. I think this part was a party. This part looks like a club. I think this part is the club. And we have, we got some people dancing. We got some nice people dancing. We got a young man eyeing the two. They dancing. And he's signaling them. Let's go. What do you say? I can't. Oh yeah. See, now they about to. Okay, yeah. So this was the club. Now they about to head to the hotel. Okay. Nice hotel. Or nice room. Nice room, really. Oh, he done slicked his hair back. All right. Now they all in the room talking, and crazy, like, it just goes silent. It just goes silent for a little minute, and it tripped me out for a minute. And the next thing you know, we're in the next scene with this man. Hold up. Like he's just taking a shower. You know, you just think he's just taking a shower, right? No, he just killed those two. He just killed those two women. Okay, first let me go ahead and say, in case I didn't. This is Prince Saragne. This is the prince that Kurapika has to get his last pair set of crimson eyes from. And this is the man that has it. This man is a crazy sinister MF already. Okay, he's out here killing women. But this man is insane. This scene tripped me out. He's about to be on the boat with Crappie. I cannot imagine the like Crappie talking about no confrontation. Alright, we're gonna see by that. We gonna see by that. This interaction right here tells me that it might be I don't know. I hope not, but it might end up being pretty bloodbathy between them two. Damn. And I also like. And then the next scene, we got Cheeto talking to this. I'm not really sure who he is, but I'm gonna say a government official. And I really like this interaction between them two because it kind of, for me, it kind of showcased as to why Netero has urgency for the Zodiacs to go to the continent and find resources and claim them first before Beyond does. Because like the way he kind of the way he says this right here, I can guarantee. Oh wait, no. First we gotta read this part. Well, damn. I guess I gotta read the whole thing. And he says, in worst case, I don't want to imagine it, but if it happens and he runs on you, speaking of Beyond, start a riot by finding and claiming rights to something new on that continent, and cause a situation like this where everything's broadcasted to the world. Let me move my big head. I can guarantee that none of you will have bright futures. When he said that, it just made me think of the nervousness, or maybe I'm just misinterpreting it. But maybe I feel like there's a urgency and sense of nervousness on both sides with the situation, because I really feel like there's that's all I can really say. And then it gets signed. Then she brings in the paper, and then with that, it's signed. This crappy little MF, he's definitely like an Isaac Netero. The way he's doing, you remember Netero doing that? The way he just got his hair print, that's a Netero right. And then look, that's the print. Okay, then we got the Zodiacs. This is crazy. This is the Zodiacs. You know, we're gonna have to do a Zodiac video at some point too. We're definitely gonna have to do a Zodiac video. Yeah, and then it ends with like how I had talked about sooner, but like Kurapika and Mu was in the car talking, and Mu was pretty much talking like I was saying earlier. What will you do if the prince doesn't want to give it peacefully? And Kurapika was talking about how there's only been two people who have ever said they would what he said, there have been two people who told me they wouldn't give them up even if they died, but changed their minds without dying. He said, I'm sure the prince will do the same. Nice, just like he said, that would be nice, but from the scene that we just witnessed, it'd be really hard for me to imagine the prince I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to chapter 346.9, and looking forward to the fact that we gotta catch up because the new chapter's dropping. What is it? On the 29th. God, we gotta. Right. Like, subscribe, comment. That's what we say. All right. Light and dark. I like the contrast. I just had to point that out. I just like light and dark. Them two gonna have they're gonna have a good finale. This chapter of Hunter x Hunter 345 was pretty interesting. Starts off with Gon. Gon is pretty much out of commission from his out of his last commission. Right here's my finger. Yeah, from his last fight with Pito. So I can put my finger. Yeah, right here when he fought Pito, and he used like all of his aura. With that bonding valve that he put himself in was like pretty freaking severe, and he's like back to basic normal going from literally from the very beginning of the series. Yeah, from the very beginning of the series. And his dad is just like, that's what you wanted, right? So now he's about to live now he's back with Aunt Pito. That's his Pito, right? Or Mito. I think it's Mito. Pito, one of those. But yeah, now he's back with his aunt. This dude has a lot of paperwork to now fill out. So he's not he's still a hunter, but he's not about to be doing hunter activities. And he was like